see the number of projects that are related to education listed on the Hennepin County website. It's not a traditional county role in county government. But Hennepin County partners with a lot of the school districts in the county on any number of work areas, from improving graduation rates to eliminating truancy, to providing credit for work outside of a traditional classroom. Literacy programs, they sometimes take place in libraries, health clinics, and even at the juvenile detention center. There is education being provided by the Hennepin County. I think the county has an important role to play in working with the school districts. Commissioner Opat, the chair of the county board, in his State of the County address early this year, said he thought that the county board should have 2 seats on the Minneapolis school board. I think he's going at that wrong. And frankly, there's only one commissioner right now on the county board who even lives in Minneapolis, so that's a little problematic on its face. But I think they have a really strong role to play in the discussion about what the county sees and what the school district sees in the actions of the students and the success of the students, or even the non-success of the students. And then get some good minds together, some creative, collaborative people, and work to see how the 2 units of government can work together. I don't know, I have to admit, I don't know much about the quality of the programs that I was just talking about, but I know that if there is the will, that the county can help the school districts from St. Anthony on the east to Plymouth on the west, we should be taking advantage of that.
Hennepin County has an important role to play in providing supports and services for families. And its role is to help children to get to school. But that's where it should end. And what Mike Opat suggested in terms of how Hennepin County should appoint board members to the Minneapolis Public Schools is a terrible idea. I would not advocate for that at all. In fact, I would advocate against that because my thinking is just simple. Hennepin County should do what it does best, and the Minneapolis Public Schools should do what it does best. Both of them are separate, and they should not work together to govern each other. Because imagine that, if the Minneapolis Public Schools thought that it was a great idea to appoint one person to the county board, would the county board allow that to happen? I mean, that's just ridiculous. So that's kind of the thing, but you know, the backdrop to education is just this. I have a child who's going to High Five at Lucy Laney. And my wife and I, when we were thinking about schools for the kid, we just kind of thought, my goodness, are we sure that we're going to send our kids to Minneapolis Public Schools? Do we have enough faith in it? And I'll tell you why. There's a program called Choice is Yours in which a lot of inner city kids are being bused out to suburban schools, including some Hmong kids who are going to Hopkins schools, Wayzata schools. And I think to myself, there are schools right in their backyards, and why are they not going to these schools? And I think about that, and I think about in Minneapolis Public Schools, we have Southwest High School, which is one of the best high schools in the country, in the Minneapolis Public School system. And then we have North High School, which essentially the Minneapolis Public Schools gave up on. And I don't know how that happened, but nobody's been able to answer that question for me as to why there's a difference between the 2. And so we have that, and then we also have this issue of charter schools, and charter schools becoming just one-race schools. And I feel like we're regressing as a society when we allow that stuff to happen. But I do understand why they exist, and I do understand why they have a place in our society. And so, I mean, those are the issues that I struggle with.
Thank you. So we have about 10 more minutes left, and a couple of questions. I know